Join me today as we do this beautiful painting called Winter Dreams. Hi, my name is JD Wayne and welcome to another episode of the Rock and Roll Painter. What in the world do we got going on here? This is going to be a fun painting. Let me show you what we got. Got a thin slice of basswood that you can get at your local art retailer, and this is going to be our canvas today. What I've done, you can see there's a natural ridge, a natural border where the rings of the tree and the bark come together. So I covered that with masking tape all the way around, then took an X-Acto knife and cut right around that border. And when we pull that tape off, it keeps the bark clean and free of any paint. So we'll have a nice clean surface. Then I covered it with some black gesso, which is just a primer, helps seal that wood in so it'll accept the oil paint pretty good. I got a little cabin cut out here. I just drew on, cut out with contact paper stuck on there. And then I got a thin coat of a clear based medium. And with that, we're ready to go. This painting is called Winter Dreams. Here it is in the middle of summer, but we always like to dream about winter. Let's see what we can do to get this painting going. Okay, I'm gonna take a 2-inch brush. We'll get a little bit of titanium white, a little bit of phthalo blue, and titanium white. And we're going to create just some far off cloud kind of feel kind of things. Maybe a little bit of this white down over here. We're going to have some mist and some trees. Maybe a little bit of that over here. Like I say, all this is at this point just some far off kind of stuff. Just going to take out the brush strokes a little bit. Just take out the brush strokes, kind of soften it down. You can see we're going to paint some clouds in front of this. It's going to really set those way back. Okay, now I'm going to take just a 1-inch brush. Take a 1-inch brush. Let's create some clouds right here. I'm just going to tap in my titanium white. Just tap. Tap, tap, tap. Really get that loose and opened up. Let's see what we can do to create. We're just going to tap in. Tap in some clouds. Tap in some cloud shapes. Just kind of tap in nice and loose, nice and random. Come all the way over here, nice and loose. Let it go up and off right off the canvas, which is our board. And just come right off over here. Now with that same brush that we were putting that phthalo blue on, I'm just going to soften those clouds down. Soften them down. This will help make some room for the next layer of cloud. Just kind of soften them down. Soften them down, fluff them up a little bit. That's really an effective way to get some nice fluffy clouds. Some nice fluffy clouds all the way back in there. You see that first one we did, there's just some clouds way off in the distance. Way off in the distance. Just kind of set those down. Set those down. I like that light coming right through there. We're going to have our light source kind of right in the middle. Where's that brush I just had? Right here. Let's clean it up a little bit. Before we do that next layer of clouds, I want to brighten that one spot up just a little bit. Just want to brighten it up. Maybe a little brighter yet. A little brighter yet. There we go. I like the way that looks. Like I say, we're going to have our light source kind of come through there. So I want them clouds kind of lit up right through there. Want them kind of lit up. Soften it down, soften it down. Lightly set them into the sky. Very effective. Now we'll go back to that same brush. Let's create another layer of them clouds. Same way, we just tap in, load that brush up. Tap in, load that brush up. Let's say we got a cloud in front of that cloud. Come right on over here. You never want to mirror the same image, the same line. So kind of break that up so you're not copying, so it doesn't look like the same cloud bank over again. Just take that all the way off the canvas, all the way off. Get some of that white down there. Really loosen that shape up. Take it right on off the canvas again, right on off the canvas. Get that different shape there. You want to get some nice different shapes, but I really like the way that's looking like some clouds. Once again, we'll take that big brush, kind of soften them clouds down. Soften them clouds down. See, I want to keep it bright there through the middle. Keep it bright through the middle. That's where our light source is going to be shining right down through that snow-covered field. Really soften them down. Soften them down. The trick is to getting distance and shape onto a flat surface. You can see now, you really see some distance. Let's get some more clouds way back there, way back there. Really see some nice clouds really building. Okay, like the way that's coming along. Now I'm gonna take a clean 1 inch. I'm gonna come in and do some, let's say some phthalo blue, Prussian blue, maybe a little bit of crimson, with a nice dark color. I'm going to create a tree line way off in the distance here. Let's say we got a tree line way off in the distance. As it's coming closer to you, those are way off. As it's getting a little closer, I'm going to have this come up a little bit more. Be a little taller, get some more of that dark color. Some more of that dark color. Some tree line way off. But it's getting closer, it comes this way. Get some more of that dark color. You might even see a little of that tree line back there. Now what I want to do is get rid of some of that excess paint. Get rid of some of that excess paint. Let's just pull up a little bit, give the illusion of some treetops. The illusion of some treetops way off in the distance, way off in the distance. I know people tell me I repeat myself with TV. I'm just reinforcing your learnings when I'm doing that, reinforcing your learnings. Okay, now I'm just going to tap in here, give a little mist. Give a little mist between that tree line. We'll have another little tree line there. Give a little mist. Nice misty, snowy morning, snowy evening. Come back in with some of that darker color. Maybe get a little black this time. A little bit darker. Have another little tree line in front of that tree line. And with that mist in between, it helps get some separation, get some distance. Give some distance to this painting. I keep saying over and over again, that's what you want to try to get in the painting. You want to try to have the feel of some distance. Feel of some distance. Take it way off. We got a hair right there. I got that off there. Wonder whose hair that is. Could be mine. You never know. Okay. Maybe a little bit more over here. Let's see what we got. Take that all the way off there. Now let's create a couple of big evergreens behind this cabin here. Behind this cabin, let's see. Let's get some. We'll take some Prussian blue, phthalo blue, some crimson. All the dark colors, some crimson. Get a nice dark color. Really load that brush up. Really load that brush up. Say we got a big evergreen right behind that cabin. Kind of establish where I want it to be. Then just with the corner of the brush, start popping out some limbs there. Start giving some shape to that evergreen tree. Start giving some shape. The tree is behind that cabin, so we're going to see him come all the way down to there. Pop some limbs out there. You want to see those limbs. You want to know that's an evergreen. Now we have another one of those. Little shorter one back behind there. You won't see as many of those branches, but we'll go ahead and put a little shorter one back there just so we know he's there. Maybe another little one way back over there. Kind of get the illusion there. And maybe we'll do just some treetops way back here. Since it's a little closer, you might see a little bit more than treetops. There we go, like how it's coming along. Now we'll go back to our 1 inch that had some of the white paint on it. We're going to establish the lay of that land. So we want a little bit of white, but we want a little bit of this blue because this is not directly in that light, but we're going to establish, we'll lay this land way back here. Just start laying that land out. You can see now them trees way far away. Get some more of that paint, load that paint up. Just Pull right up to them trees and really establish that, lay that land. Get right up underneath that evergreen. Pull some of that color out. Funny it's an evergreen, but ain't a bit of green in it. It's an ever blue today. Establish the lay of that land, and you really see some nice distance. Now I want back on this side of the cabin, it's kind of in the shadow back here, so I don't want it as bright. Don't want it as bright, but we'll establish the lay of the land back there. Now we're ready for that cabin. Now we're ready for that cabin. Okay, but that cabin, what I like to do, you've seen the, you may have seen the technique where you scrape out the cabin, scrape out the excess color. But in my classes, people can really struggle with the shape of a cabin. So if you just kind of do this, now we have that cabin shape scraped out. That step is done for you then. Just makes it a whole lot easier for those who struggle with the shape of the cabin. So now, I want to get a little bit of my clear medium. Just want to get that cabin wet. Just want to get that cabin wet so we can get some paint on it, so that paint will slide around and it'll have the same consistency, all the paint around it. We just want to get that wet a little bit. Just get that wet. I want to create, if I got a knife here, I want to create a little bit of a gray mixture. So with a little bit of black, a little bit of white, a little bit of blue, get a gray kind of color, a little bit more blue, get a grayish kind of color. And I'll take some of that gray over here and make a little lighter gray. Same gray, just a little lighter. Now I got two values of gray. So if I take the darker gray first, with a little flat brush, this side of the cabin is out of the light, so it's going to be a little darker. I'm just going to establish some boards there. Just create some boards all the way up to the corner of that. Now this front side is going to be a little lighter because it's in the light. So with a little bit of lighter gray, we'll pull down some boards in the front with a little lighter gray because it's in the light. Pull all the way down to the snow. You got that roof peak, so you got to think about that. Take it all the way down. Now this corner, just to give a little shape to that, let's go just a little bit lighter on the corner there, just a little bit brighter. Just really makes that corner pop. Really makes that corner pop. Get some shape to that. Let's get some snow on that roof. Let's get some snow on that roof. With a little bit of the white, let's just go with some straight titanium white. Get a little bit of snow on that side. Now to get the snow on the roof, I like to get a little on the edges. A little on the edges, turn your knife this way. A little on the bottom. Then you can kind of start filling it in. Make sure you get another big hair shop. I don't know where all the hair is coming from today. They start filling in that a little bit where that snow's on that roof. Get some more of that white, thick, heavy snow on this roof. But it's okay if it's got some character to it. If you see if you don't get that roof totally covered in, it's okay. Have some character to that roof. Pull it down, pull it down. Get that roof covered in the snow. And just that quick, we got a nice shape of a barn, cabin, snow-covered roof. Snow-covered roof. Let's get this cleaned off of here. Now I've got this little wipeout tool. What I'm gonna do with that little wipeout tool is just create where I want a little window. So I'm just gonna wipe off some of the excess paint. There's a window on this side. Maybe a window on that side. Now with my little flat brush that we had, I'm gonna go with a little bit of yellow, which is a transparent color. I might have to add a little bit of white to it, which is opaque, just so it'll show up. Otherwise that yellow wouldn't show up in here. But I'm gonna say if there's some light on these windows, there's somebody home in this cabin. There's somebody home. Give a little bit of light. A little bit of light. Now we need just some straight black. We put a door in the front there. A door right between them windows. Get a door right in front of them windows. And we need to put a chimney on this. Somebody's at home, we're gonna have a chimney here. Let's put a chimney right there. Put a chimney. Okay, let's make some more snow. Let's fill this guy up. Let's get some more of this white. Right up to that cabin. Some of those blues down there really help get some shadow to that, some shadow effect to that snow. Get some more of the blue, some more of the blue, some more of the white. The board's getting dry. This paint's not sliding around on it as good as it was. Make sure we get some color all the way up to our tape. I really like this board had a little different shape to it, which gives it some interest. We're going to have another big tree right here in the front. Give it some nice interest. Get some of that light. It's that light coming right through there. Get some of that paint all the way up to the cover of that board. Get some snow back here. I say get some paint all the way to the edge. All the way to the edge. Now I even see we got a brush here with some of the dark color in it. Let's get some of that blue. There's gonna be a shadow right here. A little darker color. Get a little bit of black in there. A little bit dark. Just pull some of that color down there. There's a nice dark color. Pull some of that way. Right up to the barn, cabin, whatever it is. Get some shadow coming that way. Now we can set that down. Now we can go across that lightly, kind of set that shadow. Set that shadow into that scene. Get some more of the white. Some more of the white. Really set that shadow into the snow. Really set that in. Oh, we didn't highlight our trees. Where am I going? Didn't get my trees highlighted. Let's go with a little bit of a liquid white, a little bit of titanium white, a little bit of the phthalo blue. Let's get just a little highlight on that tree. Maybe a little bit of highlight on that tree. That looks better. It looked kind of weird with no highlight on that tree. Okay, we got a big tree we're going to paint over here. We need a big tree right over in here. Let's just go with some of the brown, some of the black. Say we got a tree growing right there. Put that tree, set him down on the ground. Set him down on the ground. Now I want to take this real loose chip brush, get some of that dark color we had, some of that dark color. Let's put some foliage up around. Put some foliage up around that tree. Put some foliage here. Sets that tree down on the ground. Sets that tree down on the ground, which is what we want. Now we need some limbs on the tree. Well, let's get a little bit of highlight. If we get a little bit of a dirty white color. And since the light's over here, this side of this tree might have a little bit of highlight. That's all we need for that. Now we get our liner brush. Get our liner brush. A little bit of thinner into our dark color. Let's see if we can. Let's say there's a limb growing right off there. Another little limb there. Create some limbs kind of pointing back toward that cabin. Some limbs there. Have a nice limb coming off this way. Nice loose. With your hand, it really makes some believable limbs. Maybe there's something coming off here. There's a nice tree there. Maybe there's a little baby tree growing beside it. Let's have a little tree coming up there. And maybe we got an old fence, a couple old fence posts going there. Now we need to highlight. Let's get some highlight. Let's get a little bit. See, I like these old chip brushes you get from the hardware store. Get a little bit of the liquid white, a little bit of phthalo blue, a little bit of titanium white. Really tap, get that opened up. Just kind of tap in, give a little frost coverings to these bushes over here, to this foliage. Just give a little bit of the frost covering. Really like the distance how that's coming along. So we need to let's just take a fan brush. We got plenty of those going. Get a little bit of white, a little bit of dirty white. Pull some of that down to set those bushes down on the ground. And that finishes off the color down to our tape. So that's kind of behind here, so it'd be a little shadow back here for this. Let's get some of that color all the way down to our tape. Hold on that so it don't shake. Our tape coming loose here. I gotta be a little careful what we're doing here. Set that down on the ground. Get some more of that color back over here. Make sure we get everything colored in. We need a little bit, that knife we had. We're gonna establish, there's an old wire. Just gonna scratch in an old wire, kind of still hang on to that. And last thing I see, there was an old fence. It's more of that black over here. Maybe off into the distance here, there's an old fence in the back here. That just goes off into nothing. Just the hint of a fence. What I like to do sometimes, if this works, let's see if we get take a little bit of white, just kind of pull right in the front. You give a little bit of loose snow right there in the front. Just kind of give some texture to that. A little bit of loose snow. I like the way that's coming along. All right, let's take that liner brush we just had. Let's take that liner brush, a little bit thinner, a little bit of liner, a little bit of black. Let's just say it right over here. Sign our name. JDW. Really like how that's coming along. Let me get my hands cleaned up. Now we're going to try to take this tape off. Take this tape off to show what it looks like. And we're not going to put it in frame, but we're going to take it over and put it in the easel so you can see what it looks like. So carefully now. Carefully, we're going to pull this tape off. We really expose that border. You see where we had that taped off, and I really, really, really like how dynamic that looks. That is fantastic. Really like that. That snow's a little rough in the front. Let's just take a little brush. Just kind of set that down. There, that made it a little nicer like that. Really like how that's coming along. Okay, let's go over, let's set this, see if I can hold on to this tightly here. Loosen that up without dropping anything. Got it out of there without breaking it. Really liking how it looks. Let's take this over and put it in the easel so we can show this off. Okay, as always, I love to see a finished painting into a frame, but this has its own frame. We designed that right from the start. So we'll set that right in the easel. Really like how Winter Dreams, how it turns out. That's just such a dynamic way to see a painting. If you would like to know more about this style of painting, feel free to contact me at jdwayne@therockandrollpainter.com. Thanks for watching.